I'd like to begin by handing the floor to the 74th President of the General Assembly, His Excellency, Mr. Tijjani Muhammad-Bande. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Excellency, Madam President, Honorable Minister, my dear brother, Director of WHO, Excellencies, I would like to thank the UNSG, the head of the UNDESA and his staff for picking this theme, which is not only appropriate to the occasion that we are commemorating today, but also speaks to the most intimidating challenge of our time, the COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to, for the purpose of transparency, also say that I had served as Director General of CAFRAD in Morocco, and therefore had a close relationship with the UNDESA in the past. And it is a very important body in the United Nations system. And I'm very glad the good work of the UNDESA is continuing under your guidance. I would like to say this, that COVID-19 is a pandemic unlike any other known to the contemporary world. At no time in recent memory has the human race been gripped with the fear of a public health catastrophe with such wide ramifications. The rate and speed of person-to-person transmission of this dreaded coronavirus caught many governments unawares and quite a few unprepared. As at mid-June, the number of people infected with the virus had, according to Johns Hopkins University, reached 8.5 million. No less than 457,736 COVID-19 victims come to its fatal grip worldwide. The occasion that we are celebrating today offers a rare opportunity to discuss how to reposition governments and the public service for effective containment of the current and future threats to public safety. Under these conditions, the guidance and leadership of the WHO has been critical. The immediate and common response has been the institution of emergency measures. As long as the public health crisis lasted, governments the world over imposed mandatory lockdowns, enforced movement and travel restrictions, promulgated social distancing regulations, prescribed the use of face masks and hand sanitizers, and regulated social relations in ways hitherto unknown. In a nutshell, the developmental and poverty eradication role of the public service shrank during the state of COVID-19 emergency, while the state's regulatory and policing role expanded. It is true that these necessary measures slowed down the pace of economic activity within and across countries. Decreasing capacity utilization in the public and private realms tragically started a chain reaction whose cumulative damage will take years to undo. Already, the mandatory planned shutdowns and office closures have resulted in temporary separations, outright layoffs, and income losses. According to the latest estimates by the ILO, more than 1 in 6 young people have stopped working since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, while those with jobs have seen their working hours shortened by 23%. One unintended consequence, Madam President, Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, of this COVID-19 cloud is the inspiration it has provided for the creative allocation of time, space, and other resources. Thus, to ensure business continuity, many organizations fell back on or discovered teleconferencing, conducting virtual in place of actual in-person meetings, replacing face-to-face decision processes with online communications, and amending rules of procedure to allow for the ratification of draft decisions by explicit or implicit consensus. As the most visible side of government and primary advisor on and executor of policy, the public service owes it a duty to itself and to its principles to transform the creative impulses of the COVID-19 period into the performance uplifting and service rendering energy needed to meet the mounting post-pandemic challenges. The retreat of the public health tragedy should, in fact, represent a major turning point in the quest for superior performance in all branches of government, be it in the legislature, judiciary, or the executive and its agencies. In discharging its responsibilities and fulfilling its mandates, the public sector must constantly be guided by the finest principles of public administration, notably altruism, loyalty, dedication, excellence, integrity, responsiveness, and accountability. These same principles and virtues are indispensable to the success of efforts at conquering the post-COVID-19 challenges. Madam President, Excellencies, restarting the economies and getting things moving once again will require extraordinary efforts and a surge of innovative ideas that include substantially reducing the time required to accomplish tasks. It is necessary for the public service to brace for the challenge of post-COVID-19 reconstruction by recording quick wins in at least 3 areas, namely time consciousness, resource allocation, and service delivery. Time consciousness will run setting and enforcing time standards for the delivery of the results in specific areas. Optimal resource allocation or value for money entails keeping an eye on the relationship between inputs and outputs and ensuring that the latter constantly exceed the former. Improved service delivery is, of course, the ultimate objective, the overriding quick win in the post-COVID-19 revitalization plan. This will require, among other things, soliciting the opinions of service beneficiaries on the nature and quantity of service to render, exploring the least costly means of providing the service, fixing deadlines by which the critical operations must be undertaken and the expected services delivered, and paying attention to the qualitative dimension in service delivery. Among the qualitative aspects of service delivery frequently overlooked are timeliness of delivery, courtesy of service delivery agents, and adequacy of information about eligibility and about access. Equally relevant to the service is quality and the extent to which service delivery agents and beneficiaries observe the crucial but steadily receding ethics of public administration, namely integrity, professionalism, impartiality, equality of treatment, due process, inclusiveness, avoidance of conflict of interest situations, and non-corruptibility. Finally, if we learned any lesson from COVID-19, it was that in a period of emergency, the proactive and morale-boosting role of the public service remained critical. To contain the spread of fallouts from natural disasters, frontline workers need to be permanently ready with containment and mitigation scenarios. Above all, contact tracing and effective public communication should be the high points of pandemic control efforts. Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, happy UN Public Service Day.